This is a briefing I never wanted to give. Now it's going to be up to President Putin to decide ultimately how much cost he's willing to bear. But what we control is to make sure this will be a strategic failure, not just because of the sanctions, but also because of the export controls, because of Europe's accelerated diversification away from Russia in terms of its energy supply, due to our fortification of NATO's eastern flank, and due to the renewed energy and unity and determination by the West to stand up for our values and advance our principles. We understand that these costs will accumulate over time. But let me say this. I think today was a demonstration that we mean what we say. We delivered on what we said we would do in terms of imposing costs. So when we say all options are on the table and that we're prepared to continue to ratchet costs higher, it would be a mistake to doubt that resolve.
Today, Australia will be beginning imposing further sanctions on oligarchs whose economic weight is of strategic significance to Moscow, and over 300 members of the Russian Duma, their parliament, who voted to authorise the use of Russian troops in Ukraine to illegally invade Ukraine. We are also working with the United States to align with their further sanctions overnight on key Belarusian individuals and entities complicit in the aggression. So we are extending those sanctions to Belarus. And I particularly have been concerned at the lack of a strong response from China. Overnight, it was uploaded, the report is in the South China Morning Post today, at a time when the world was seeking to put additional sanctions on Russia. They have eased restrictions on trade of Russian wheat into China. So at a time when Australia, together with the United Kingdom, together with the United States and Europe and Japan, are acting to cut off Russia, the Chinese government is following through on easing trade restrictions with Russia. And that is simply unacceptable.
Well, unfortunately, this is the result of poor leadership, in my opinion. I don't think this would have happened under the previous administration. Russia has made military maneuvers under 4 of the last 5 presidents. Guess which one they didn't test their boundaries with? It was President Trump. And so now we're having to pick up the pieces on the back end. And so the response is, well, what does the U.S. do? Well, what's going to happen? Well, the response is we shouldn't have let it happen to begin with.
I think if Trump was still in office, we never would have gotten to this point. But unfortunately, we are where we're at. It's tough because my brother is actually in the Marines right now, and I hear that we are deploying troops at the moment, so it makes me nervous. I think that we should have somewhat of a military presence given the circumstances, but not that I agree with it, but it is what it is.
Today, I have asked 27 European leaders whether Ukraine will be in NATO. I have asked directly, everyone is afraid, no one answers. But we are not afraid. We are not afraid of anything. We are not afraid to defend our country. We are not afraid of Russia. We are not afraid to talk to Russia. Sadly, today we lost 137 heroes, our citizens. 10 of them were officers. 316 people have been wounded. They have not surrendered. They will all be awarded posthumously the title of the Hero of Ukraine. Let those who gave their lives for Ukraine be remembered forever. I remain in the capital. My family is also in Ukraine. My children are in Ukraine. They are not traitors. They are citizens of Ukraine. According to the information we have, the enemy has marked me as target number 1, my family as target number 2. They want to damage Ukraine politically by destroying the head of state.
Позначив мене як ціль номер 1.